This is our Backcountry 35 Pannier. This is our flagship Pannier system. It's 35 liters per side, and it's designed for long distance touring on and off-road, but primarily with an emphasis on off-road, so applications where you need extremely durable materials. I have a separate video showing how the mounting system works, but it's extremely easy to take the bags on and off the bike. So this is what it looks like off, and this is what it looks like on. It opens like this and closes the same way. One of the advantages of a roll top bag is that it can be overstuffed. So the roll top gives you a way to manage the capacity of the bag. So you can do a few less rolls and kind of overstuff the bag, increasing the volume, or you can roll it down really tight, compressing the bag and decreasing the volume. You can also increase or reduce the capacity of the bag with these 6 compression straps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Backcountry 35 is 100% waterproof. We accomplish our waterproofing by creating 2 completely separate bags. So there's an outer bag that's designed for abrasion resistance and an inner bag that's designed for waterproofing. The outer bag is made from 1680D ballistic nylon here on the beaver tail, and then there's a layer of foam in the middle. There's vinyl on the back, vinyl here, and then a hard plastic insert. The outer bag is designed to take all the abuse. So when you drop the bike, this is the first thing that hits the ground. This is where the abrasion happens. This is where the campfire sparks land if you have it off the bike while you're cooking at night. The outside, this outer bag is designed to protect the integrity of the inner bag, which is your waterproof layer. So as long as that inner bag is intact, all of your stuff is going to stay dry and clean. The inner bag is completely removable like that. The inner bag is made from 22-ounce vinyl and uses welded seam dry bag construction. It also has its own closure system. So if you want to carry it when it's removed, you have a little handle and a closure. This is handy if the outer bag is completely covered in mud or dirt and you need to take your belongings into a hotel room or into your tent or into your house. You don't want everything to get filthy, so you can just remove the liner and leave this outer bag outside. This is called the beaver tail on the front of the bag. This is a stash spot. So say you have things you don't want to put inside your dry bag, like for example, dirty shoes, dirty flip-flops, maybe the rain fly on your tent is wet, or you have a wet towel or bathing suit, or say a bottle of soda or water, or garbage from your campsite, or a quart of oil, chain lube, things like that. This expands way out, and you can just tuck those things in there, and you don't have to put them in next to your dry sleeping bag and clean clothes. Another cool thing about the beaver tail, this is your sliding surface. It's the first thing that hits the ground when the bike goes down. So if you do if you're on a long trip and you do some damage or some abrasion to this beaver tail, this entire assembly opens up like this. It can be folded away from the bag and run through a sewing machine. So it's a lot easier to do repairs on this surface than it is to do repairs on the main body of the bag. The compression straps on the front of the bag use these metal buckles. We use metal buckles here because if you use plastic buckles, they're the first thing that hit the ground when the bike goes down. They tend to melt and break. So we use metal buckles here. They can take an extraordinary amount of abuse. All of our straps have these cool strap keepers. So when you have an excess strap length, you just roll it up like that. And you can either tuck it around the main strap like that, or if you prefer, you can leave it disconnected, and then you have this handle that you can use to compress the straps. On the front and the bottom of the Backcountry 35, we have MOLLE panels. So these are great for connecting a variety of MOLLE accessories. I'm going to connect this 4-liter MOLLE bag to the front of the Backcountry 35 Pannier. So this is how the Backcountry 35 looks, set up with a couple of MOLLE accessory bags. This is the way I personally would rig it on an extended trip. I've got a 4-liter MOLLE bag here on the front that's got a hydration reservoir in it. That's the MSR dromedary. It's a 2-liter dromedary. So we've got water kind of available for cooking, camping, cleaning, stuff like that right there. But I don't need the nozzle. Just tucks up behind this little neoprene cover. Then down on the bottom, I've got my bottle holder set up, and that'll fit a 1-liter fuel bottle. It's good for camp stove fuel, extra gas. Also a good spot for a whiskey flask. One of the goals of our Pannier system is to give you places to store all of your fluids outside of the dry bag. That way, if you have a leak, you're not going to get to your campsite and find that your water has soaked your sleeping bag, your clothes, your tent, or even worse, if gasoline or camp stove fuel or something like that is to leak inside your pannier, it can be a real mess. So here you can keep your water, your fuel, everything else outside of the bag, and you don't have to worry about leaks. Here on the back of the Backcountry 35, we have a little roll top stash pocket. So this is specifically sized to fit 2 1-liter fuel bottles if you need it. It'll also fit a 2-liter dromedary. It's also a great spot for snacks, water, tools, tubes, tire repair equipment, anything you think you might need quick access to throughout the day, and you don't want to have to fish through the main body of the pannier to find it. On the front of the Backcountry 35 and also on the back, there are these daisy chains. This is a great way to expand the capacity of your Backcountry 35. Here I've got our Tracker 10 dry bag. This will sit right on top. You can run the central compression strap over the top like that, cinch it down, and then what you're going to want to do is run some kind of a connection strap from this daisy chain through this pass-through on the Tracker 10, over the Tracker 10, and down to the daisy chain on the other side. That way the bag is completely trapped and can't escape if it squeezes or moves around during the day. With the Tracker 10 dry bag added and also a Molly accessory bag, you can take the 35-liter pannier, increase it to 45 liters, and then add another 8 liters of capacity, bringing it up over 50 liters by using Molly bags. When you take the Backcountry 35 off the bike, you have a couple of options for carrying it. One is you can hold it by this top compression strap. The other is you can hold it by this handle. I personally like to use the handle to take it on and off the bike, but I don't like carrying it by the handle because it tends to bump into my leg. So I carry it by the top compression strap when it's off the bike. I can put one pannier in each hand, put the Backcountry duffel on my back, and get to a campsite or a hotel room in one trip. The Backcountry 35 is our most popular pannier system. We have literally thousands of these in use around the world right now. They've been used on every continent except Antarctica, as far as I know. And in fact, we even have some people connecting them to snowmobiles in the wintertime. So it's a really versatile system, works on a lot of different bikes. I have a separate video that shows how to mount it to the bike and talks about the mounting system in a little bit more detail. And if you have any additional questions, please give us a call or send us an email.